but we must follow departmental procedure.
G'day. How's it going?
Hi, you're just in time for the lunchtime rush.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. One of the advantages of the afternoon shift, get to sleep in late.
Yeah, and you're lucky. I slept right through the alarm this morning.
Still, it was a great night though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I loved it.
How'd you go with the old bit in the hostel?
She caught me picking the lock trying to get in. She ripped strips off me.
Did you get no much strife?
Yeah, a bit. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Sorry, Susie.
Oh, forget it. One thing I've learned is not to let the heavies get you down. There's always someone around who'll try and stomp on you.
Hey, listen, you want to come out tonight? I mean, as well as Saturday night?
Yeah, why not?
I thought you chicks were supposed to play hard to get.
Well, I take it you finished your shift.
Thanks to bloody Chrissy Latham, I've probably finished for good.
What do you mean?
She's come up with some cock and bull story that I knocked her off in the middle of the night. And my dear friend Mrs. Powell believes it.
You're kidding.
I wish I was. Powell's been gunning at me ever since the gossip about Sandy Edwards.
Sandy Edwards? She's not in here, is she?
Not anymore. She disappeared. She's never been found. Anyway, Powell believes that I helped her to escape so she wouldn't talk about what was going on.
Oh, it's the trouble with these women. They can't keep their mouths shut.
I didn't say anything was going on.
Who cares? I don't.
Well, Powell does, for one. I'm sure she works for the Festival of Light in her spare time. Glad you think it's funny.
Oh, come on. You've got nothing to worry about. I'd believe anything of that tricky Chrissy. She's a real little tease, that one.
Anyway, the governor believes it enough to suspend me, which suits me fine. I've had enough of this place.
Listen, don't worry. I'll fix it up for you.
Yeah, I'll see you around.
Chrissy? Chrissy, the grapevine reckons that Mr. Faulkner's been suspended.
Yeah?
Well, why would the governor do that, do you reckon?
How would I know?
Oh, come on, I know you know something about it, and I want to know what it is. I warned you if you got him into strife...
I didn't get him into strife. He got himself into it, and Powell was right onto it.
What for?
He raped me last night.
Rape you? That'd be like forcing Lizzie to take a drink.
Well, he put the hard word on me. What was I supposed to do then?
Oh, you're lying. He's not that stupid. He damn nearly got the big A when he and Sandy were on together.
It's true.
What are you two doing out here?
Just going to the loo, Mrs. Powell?
Not together, you're not.
Well, she's going, I'm coming.
Come on, Latham. You've got to give a formal statement.
I've already told you what happened.
Don't argue. Go on, Smith. Get back to the laundry.
Thanks. Well, I can't believe that. All those butterflies and the whole thing was over in less than an hour.
I told you it was only a formality.
Yeah, at least the cops were decent enough to admit they'd made a mistake. Not that that helps me much. No way I'm going to get my taxi license back after admitting I roughed up a fare.
Well, there are other jobs, Judy.
Yeah, but I haven't got one of them, have I? And the parole board isn't likely to let me go without some sort of job, are they?
The board's meeting tomorrow. I'll have a word with them then.
Yeah, I'll just have to keep my fingers crossed, I guess.
Come in.
Could I see you for a moment, please, Governor?
Yes, of course. I'm afraid I haven't had much chance to talk to you recently. How are you settling in, Miss
Oh, fine, thanks. No worries at all. Except for this business with Mr. Faulkner and Latham.
Oh, you've heard.
Yes, I overheard the women talking about it in the corridor.
Never ceases to amaze me how quickly gossip spreads in here. A matter like that makes it more difficult to maintain discipline.
With all due respect, Governor, the suspending of an officer just on the say-so of a prisoner doesn't do much for our authority either.
I appreciate that. But Latham has lodged a complaint, and I can't just ignore it.
Of course, but this Latham woman doesn't seem exactly trustworthy. Well, it says in her file that she stabbed the prison psychologist because he knocked her back, and then she mysteriously got pregnant in Barnhurst. Well, the other women don't believe her, and they should know her very well. Could it be that she made this up to get back at Mr. Faulkner for rejecting her?
Well, of course it's possible. And I hope that is what the investigation will reveal.
I could very well be in this same position, Governor. I knocked her back when she tried it on with me.
Yes, well, I can appreciate your concern for Mr. Faulkner, but we must follow official procedure on this.
Yes. Has the complaint been lodged with the department?
No, I'm just compiling the report now.
I can save you wasting your time, Governor. I know Mr. Faulkner didn't do it.
Oh?
We were both on the night shift, and I was with him the whole time.
I must say, Mrs. Powell, I was a little surprised that Miss Ferguson hadn't been questioned about this earlier. I hadn't realized she and Mr. Faulkner were on the same shift.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. That was an oversight. But as I said, Latham seemed to be telling the truth.
Well, Chrissy can be very convincing when she wants to be, but I couldn't believe that of Steve.
There have been rumours before.
But no proof.
I still have my doubts that two officers can stay in sight of each other for the whole night.
Well, it doesn't surprise me at all. Miss Ferguson is new here and wouldn't know her way about, would she?
I suppose not.
And we must remember that Mr. Faulkner is the only male officer on staff and is a prime target for this sort of blackmail. Anyway, I've cancelled the inquiry and Mr. Faulkner's suspension. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to reach him by phone to notify him.
And what about Latham?
Well, surely the most important thing is to let Steve know he's in the clear. I'm off duty now. I'll call round and give him a message if you like.
Thank you, Mrs. Morris. Of course, we won't let Latham get away with it. Leave her in solitary to think about it for a while.
That'll be a pleasure.
Yeah, well, the judge didn't exactly give me a pat on the back, but after the police had their say, he was really beaut.
That's terrific, Judy. They'll have to give you your parole now.
I hope so.
Well, if they don't, I'll get my poison pen to work again. I need something like that for the dispatch. They're obviously not interested in chatty pieces about life in prison.
Well, you could always do an article on the seduction of prison officers.
Oh, that one's a troublemaker, and always was.
Okay, Latham. You are going to learn not to waste my time with lies. Get outside.
What have I done? I've told you the truth.
Miss Ferguson was with Mr. Faulkner for the whole night and can vouch that he was nowhere near you. Get out.
Oh, it's bloody typical. That is. All you screws all stick together, don't you? I've told you he was on his own. Is that how you handle an official complaint, then?
No need for the rest of you women to stop work.
That silly bitch. Can't even lie properly.
Steve?
G'day, Meg. What brings you to this neck of the woods?
Message from Mrs. Davidson. I thought you might be asleep.
Ah, I was too damned angry to sleep. Come on up. That's the buzz from our beloved leader.
The suspension's been lifted. You can return to work tomorrow.
Great. What happened? Latham decided to tell the truth.
No. Joan Ferguson simply said she'd been with you all night. I don't know why you didn't tell Mrs. Davidson that in the first place.
Oh, I just didn't want to involve Joan, that's all. Besides, I was so bloody mad, I couldn't think straight.
Mr. Walton to see you, Governor.
Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Walton. Are you after a press statement, or is this a social visit?
Well, no, I'm not a reporter, Mrs. Davidson. Actually, I'm here about one of your inmates, B. Smith.
Oh?
Yes, well, as you know, the Dispatch has published a couple of articles she's written, and the owners are keen to continue the social reform theme. Now, that report on Susie Driscoll really grabbed the public.
Yes, she became quite a celebrity. Well, what is your intention? Do you want to bring a reporter in here to interview some of the women?
Well, no, not exactly. Did you read Smith's last article?
Yes, I read it before I sent it to you. I thought it was very good, but she didn't seem very pleased with it.
Well, that surprises me. Anyway, we're going to publish it next week. Has she had any formal training in journalism or writing?
No, she's been here for the last 11 years or so. I'm afraid our educational facilities leave a lot to be desired.
It's amazing. Must be a natural talent. Look, I'll come to the point, Mrs. Davison. We'd like to offer Mrs. Smith a regular column in our paper. Now, naturally, we'd like to get your reaction to the idea first.
Well, I think it could be just what Smith needs.
Naturally, you'll be paid normal rates. Now, you will have to join the union. We'll have to come to some arrangement about that.
Yeah,